Hey guys, welcome back to whatever this is, and on today's episode, oddly weird timing on this, but the Wii U shop is actually shutting down, and I was actually just going to do a video on the last game I wanted to pick up for the console, is Ducktales for the Wii U, but this video is just going to be a bit of an overview of that console. Let's go! So it's fascinating that, like 10 years later, this came out in 2012, so 11 years later they'll be shutting down the Wii U eShop, and 3DS shop to go with it. I've already kind of done a video on the 3DS, so this one I'll just focus on the Wii U. This was a console that I always jokingly say like 5 people bought. Nobody really cared about it, except for me, and what was kind of cool, especially working at EB at the time, is it was really fun because like a lot of the games that came out on there were kind of weird and Nintendo kind of doing different things. It kind of felt a little bit like a Sega, which I liked, and this was the last one I was looking for because when the next console that came out, the lovely Switch here, when that came out, EB Games had a really good trading deal, so I traded everything in. Like, everything was doubled. Didn't matter what it was. You were getting top dollar for everything at the time, which seemed like a pretty good deal, and I think I maybe bought some of them back at a higher, but for the most part, I think I spent like $10 on most of these, because pawn shops, random, like, stores just don't want them, so they go pretty cheap, which is really nice. This one was one of the more pricey ones, because it was on the shop, then it was off the shop, and now it's back on the shop because of copyright, because, you know, Disney. So this one was a bit weird, but what I figured I'd do here is I'm going to do like a nice overview of the console and how I viewed it. But to me, it was a super fun console with just very unique games that I just don't think still to this day, like with its properties on the controller, like this did change a lot on how you played. It made everything feel like it was on a DS, which, hey, I think that's kind of awesome, but that's also because I like the DS a whole bunch. But with this, like, you were playing Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs. You had your map down here. So, yeah, it wasn't anything, like, stellar and new, but it was really cool. And, like, when I was just getting bored and being like, hey, I'm just going to grab everything in this area, I would switch off my Pro Controller and switch onto this and then just start tapping and just bouncing around from location to location. Like, it was a nice idea. It just obviously didn't work the way they wanted it to, and it's funny that people turned this into a portable console, and then it kind of inspired the Switch, because this thing was a spectacular failure. And I liked GameCube a lot. Nobody bought that thing. Now everybody wants it. But at the time, nobody cared about the Wii U either. Like, Nintendo was kind of at its lowest point because the console was dying. And I kind of loved it for that. Maybe there was a part of me that just wanted to see them go, but like I was constantly buying Wii U versions of games, even if, yes, they weren't necessarily the best, and in some cases were just the 360 version ported over. It was fine. I liked it. It was a good, fun console at the time. Even now, there's still like versions of games I would rather play on the Wii U if I can help it. Unless it got like a backwards compatible Xbox, which that is usually the best way to play. That backwards compatible on the Xbox, chef's kiss. But that's not what the topic is. It is the Wii U. So what I thought I'd do at this point, because I feel like I just kind of quickly explained everything, and I just wanted to go through the games that I own for the Wii U, maybe to just, if someone's out there looking to collect for it, hey, here's what I bought, and maybe something here, like, sparks something for you to start collecting, or hey, that's a version of a game I didn't know existed, or just never thought about. So, for the next part, yeah, we're just going to get into some games. So at this point, we're going into rapid fire mode. It's just nothing in particular. I'm going to go through every game in alphabetical order, so no game is in particular. Wii U games that I owned are exclusive versions. If they got a Switch port, I have gotten rid of them and had no desire to recollect them unless I just really, really like the game or there's something different about that version. Unique enough, but again, it's all my personal preference. So yes, as much as I love Mario 3D World, I'm not going to play it on the Wii U anymore. I'm going to play it on the Switch. But again, if I come across it for $10, yeah, I'd pick it up. But I'm not going on my way for it. So, with that out of the way, let's go. Alright, first game up, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This is actually the one I first got into. I never played an Assassin's Creed game until I walked into my local EB. The guy who became my boss for a few months literally just looked at me and went, "Do you want to go on a pirate adventure?" And I'm like, "Oh man, do I?" And here we are. This is one of my favorite games. It is an outlier. I like this one and another Assassin's Creed game, but that's it. Batman Arkham Origins. Nobody else likes this game but me, and I honestly will say the Wii U version is one of the better versions. I know the frame rate's a little all over the place. If you can, Xbox for that one. Batman Arkham Armored Edition. This is a really unique version, kind of different. I don't know if this version's ever going to come back, which is why I have this version. So while I was working, EB still, they were clearing out Wii U games. I paid nothing for this. Deus Ex, I did this on an unboxing video. This was a very good game. I haven't fully played through it, but I do enjoy it, and again, it is a unique version for the Wii U, which is why it's kind of cool, and one of the few M-rated titles. As I already said, Ducktales. There's nothing special about this version. It's just a physical copy of Ducktales because, I don't know if it's going to get ported to the new consoles. Injustice, Batman Among Us. I did enjoy this fighting game. It's just kind of a cool fighting game. I wish Mortal Kombat was on this console, but it's not. This is the best I got. Twilight Princess. Do I need to say any more? Wind Waker. This is the best one. Come at me. Mass Effect 3. This version actually runs really well in the Wii U. Better than the other ones, especially the PS3 version. It's not as unique now with the other version that came out, the Legacy, but I bought this before then, and it's kind of not really worth anything, so I'm just going to keep it because I also really like Mass Effect. Mighty No. 9, worked at EB. It was dirt cheap. Nobody wanted it. Remix. It was a good game. Like, fun, unique game. I don't think this is going to get a port. It's just too obscure, but who knows? I bought it, never played it, traded it in before I had a chance to play it, so I bought it again. That's the story, and I do actually want to play this game, and I know it's not that great. I put so many hours in this game when it originally launched. I played it on the 3DS for a bit. My hands got a little crunchy because it was the original 3DS. The Wii U version was far better and far more enjoyable, and I spent a lot of nights playing through it. I also spent a lot of hours playing this game, Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed, one of my favorite kart racers. It's hard to say now because Mario Kart 8 has become something else, but at the time of launch, when this game was out and Mario Kart came out, I preferred this game. Maybe because I'm a Sega fan, but I would always say this was a far more fun kart racing game that only recently I've noticed a few people picked up, but it is a good time. Tekken Tag. I'm not even the biggest Tekken fan. I just know this is a weird version where you can dress them up with Mario stuff and like throw mushrooms in the field where you're fighting. So it's really fun and derpy, so let's go. Tokyo Mirage Session, Sharp FE. I love this game. It's so enjoyably dumb. It is stupid Persona, and yes, I am going to do my own video on it soon. Watch Dogs. This was actually a recent pickup. Got real lucky when I bought it. It is still technically sealed, but I do need to pop it in before that shop shuts down, so I'll be talking about that one soon. But I did pick it up initially when I worked at EB, and yes, the map is on the bottom. It's a different version, but this is the one I was talking about where it was just a port of the 360 version, but it ran decently well. The wonderful 100. I do have the Switch port, which I guess is hard to get, but I would say this is one of those times where, yeah, because the tablet was really integral to it, it kind of lost a little bit of luster, but I would say pick it up on this console if you can, because Wii U's just didn't sell that well. Xenoblade Chronicles X. I swear this is going to show up on the Switch on someday, and Nintendo's just holding on to it. I would love it because this game will be loved by a very particular crowd. This is world building over everything else. Like, just a map to explore is asininely big. It's great. I did really like it, but I am kind of scared to get back into it just knowing how big this game is. But if you like the other Xenoblade games, this is one you should check out if you are looking at the Wii U. And finally, Yoshi or Yoshi's Woolly World. This game is adorable. It makes me want to reach into my television screen and pull out the blankets and cuddle with everything. Alright guys, that's it for this ramble of an episode. But this time around, I'm just going to finish up with a few things on controller-wise. It's always shocking how comfortable this controller in particular actually was. I only recently got the battery expansion, and I wish I bought it sooner. Because once you put in that battery extender, this thing is actually very usable. Like, more often than not, when I was playing my Wii U before, I was constantly going for this controller. Because, yes, for most games, this is all you need. Like, Yoshi's Woolly World, yeah, I'm not using the tablet. I'm playing with this controller. But for some games, like when you're doing the triangle, going for the Triforce, this is the better way to go. And, like, especially if you're playing Twilight Princess, just popping between items. Like, this is really nice. It's a great concept. But in a lot of cases, I would just switch to this because the battery was like 2-3 hours, but I think I killed my battery because I did play my Wii U that much. Like, the battery on this needed to be replaced. It was lasting like an hour. But it is a great controller once you kind of deal with the battery issue. And then finally, I just gotta say, this is still one of my favorite controllers. Nowadays, it feels like a little light, like it's a lot clickier than before. But I still think it's one of the best controllers Nintendo ever built. And it is funny because I thought the sticks being up here would be bad for shooters. It's not bad for shooters at all. I actually think it's quite good. I did play a little bit of Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. And yes, Black Ops 2 did come out on the Wii U. It was a good time. And it had the nicest community ever, which was really weird, because only adults bought the Wii U. Children didn't want the Wii U. Adults did. So then the adults would then go buy Call of Duty and actually have just like a really mellow experience. It was kind of bizarre. I loved it, but it was the strangest thing at the time because, you know, you look at 360, everybody's angy. Look at the PS3, everybody's angsty. And then you go on the Wii U and everyone's like, yeah, no, I bought a Wii U. So anyways, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed just kind of my overview on what I think of the Wii U. I think it's still a cool system. It's a console I would recommend collecting with an asterisk. Just kind of know what you're getting into because it is such a bizarre system. But right now, it's not overly expensive. It's kind of one of the cheaper consoles to collect for. And I really enjoyed it from start to finish. The most expensive thing would be trying to find the console, I think, right now. And I know it's going to get harder with time. And as of right now, I really enjoyed collecting for this console. I may pick stuff up, but like I can't think of anything more I'd want to collect that I don't already have on the next console. The Switch just did everything this console did, but better. But there are still some unique experiences. So on that, I would say pick up the Wii U if you want something unique. And that's where I'm going to leave this off. I think the Wii U is a wonderful, unique console that you can enjoy if you know what you're getting into. But anyways, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Take care. Have a good one.